get your triceps huge, and they'll pull their shoulder forward like this. But drop your questions, comments down below. The point of this warm-up is to make sure we can put maximum effort. We are back for another workout, arms and a little bit of side delts. Starting off with cables, did a few warm-up sets, gonna do one more and then get into the working sets. I didn't think of a good routine ahead of time. Most of it's gonna be the same. I'm just gonna sub out these cables for something different. I'm not sure exactly what. For the next workout, these will be subbed out for something different. I just wanna isolate the biceps a little bit more. The reason why I like doing the cables is it's really good to warm up on, but those first like 1 or 2 exercises are so important for growth that I just wanna make sure I'm maximizing the growth as much as possible. Not that I'm not getting a lot out of these, but I just really feel like by the time I go onto the preacher curl, the next exercise, and the hammer curls, not that this is a waste, I just want to sub something out where I can maybe isolate it even more efficiently or just better. The reason why I'm doing this is strictly almost just to warm up my biceps and my elbows. So when I do the preacher curl and the other exercises, they're not hurting. But if I can do that with another exercise and maybe train it a little bit harder or feel it a little bit more, like just get better mind muscle connection, then that's what I want to go with. I just don't know if I'd superset them. So the next arm day, it will be a little bit different, but for today, this is what we're going to do. So again, I've already done like 3 or 4 warm-up sets. That was the closest one to my working weight. So I reduce the reps as I get closer to my working weight. And I'm pretty close to the working weight here too. Okay, so that feels really light. I'm gonna go a little bit heavier. That feels good too. So now we're set up for the working weight, and guys, the stronger you get, the more warm up you got to do. Like just for example, I'll do this in terms of barbell bench. If you're doing a 315 barbell bench, you're probably going to do 4 to 6 warm-up sets. You're not just going to do like the bar 135 and then go straight to 315. You're going to do 135, probably 135 again, maybe 185, 2 plates, potentially even 275, because the jump from 225 to 315, like that's still, you know, a shitload of weight. So you want to throw something in the middle to make sure by the time you hit 315, one, your joints are totally warm, your muscle is totally warm, and that you can put maximum effort into those first working sets. Because what a lot of people do, they don't warm up properly. They do their first working set, and it's also like a working and a warm-up set. They still feel a little bit weak. They're not totally warm. And then by the time they get to their second and third sets, they're finally warm and able to put more effort into those sets. The point of this warm-up is to make sure we can put maximum effort into all of our working sets. So that's why I do so many warm-up sets. And for these warm-up sets, I'm taking short rests, like maybe 10, 15, 20 seconds max. And I'm just going back and forth because again, I want to warm up. I don't want to let myself cool off in between. And then once I get to my working sets, that's when I take my normal rest times. So I'm gonna be supersetting these ones. So when you're doing these cable curls, make sure your elbows are in a fixed position. They shouldn't be rocking back and forth. You can see I kind of pull my elbows in front and I just curl straight from here. Get a full extension, curl all the way. A lot of people go like this and they'll bring their elbows out in front of them. As soon as you start to do this motion, you're bringing your delts into it. Keep your elbows locked in for any bicep exercise and just curl. The only joint that should be moving is your elbow. Nothing else should be moving here. So keep your elbows locked in and curl up. Let the weight pull you down and curl up. You shouldn't be going like, curling like that. You're doing it wrong and you're taking tension off your biceps. For the triceps, pretty simple. You could push through and lock out. You could push down and still lock out. You also don't wanna, you shouldn't be going like this, lifting your elbows up and then pushing down. Let it go. Try and get a little of an angle here. The more of an angle you can get, the bigger stretch on your tricep, and then push down and through. That's how you're gonna get the most out of these two. So for this, I'm gonna do one more working set. For arms, I only do 2 working sets per, because I'm training chest and back the day after tomorrow. So I notice if I do 3 working sets, my arms are still sore by the time I train pull and push. So I'm just keeping the volume a little bit lower still. And then maybe in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, if I notice that I'm recovered in time for my back workout on Wednesday, today's Monday, on Wednesday, then I'll probably do 3 sets here. And I'll just incrementally increase the volume. If I can recover from that volume, awesome. I'll try bumping up the volume again until I notice it's starting to get in the way, or until I notice the fatigue is still there for my back workout. And then so I'll pull the volume so I can maximize the volume for this without causing any fatigue on my back day. Because obviously when you're pulling and pushing, if your biceps are sore, you're gonna be able to pull less, meaning you have to go lighter on your back workout. And for me, I'm really trying to grow my lats and my back. So I don't wanna have any fatigue from this arm workout during my back workout. And at my triceps, anytime you're pushing, your triceps are being worked. So I don't wanna have any fatigue from, smoking my triceps on my arm day during my chest workout. So that's where you have to make sure you're maximizing the stimulus on your arm day with intensity and volume, but not so much where it's getting in the way of the other workouts too. Again, the way you determine that, are you sore for those workouts? If you are, pull back the volume on your arm day. As you can see, onto the preacher curl machine, this is a lot more of an isolation exercise. I feel like almost any type of bicep curl is an isolation exercise, but this just feels a lot more isolating than doing like a bicep cable curl of the previous one I just did. This is my favorite one. If you've been following me, you know I've been doing this for a long, long time. The key with this one, and a lot of people, just for any preacher curl, most common mistake I see, you wanna make sure you're locked in here. What a lot of people do, they'll come down and they'll pull their shoulder forward like this, and then when they curl, they come up like this. Again, everything needs to be locked in. So make sure your seat is adjusted to the right height where you're like this. Like there's no movement. The only thing that should be moving, like you want your tricep basically planted on the pad, and then you just curl straight up. So when I curl up, I'm not lifting my elbow and my tricep aren't coming off the pad here. You're just curling straight up like this. So make sure your seat is adjusted to the right height, because that's the reason for that mistake that I see a lot of people do. Their seat height is wrong. So just keep for either arm, right? Keep it curled, lean into it a little, and then just any type of bicep exercise or tricep, nothing should be moving except your elbow. And I don't mean moving your elbow up and down. I just mean like, this is the only joint working. So that's all that should be happening. There should be no body movement, nothing like that. So that's the most common mistake. A lot of people do it. Make sure your seat is adjusted right. Make sure like you're planted firmly into the pad here. And that's what's good about having mirrors around. Not in this section, there's literally no mirror, so I can't watch myself when I do it. But if there are mirrors in your gym where you can watch, like make sure you're not pulling back like this, because now you're starting to cheat and take tension off the bicep. So that's the most common and an important mistake to fix if you're doing this. Obviously, the other one after that is, even if you are locked in, you're just doing half reps, get a full stretch and curl all the way. If you don't make those mistakes, 99% chance you're doing this properly. And then obviously just train to failure, no reps in reserve, all that bullshit. Yo, the other important thing, always start with your weaker arm first. If you do have a weaker side, always start with your weaker side and then make sure you match the reps on your strong side. If you do 15 reps on your weak side, don't do 18 reps on your strong side. As you can see, doing some skull crushers. So anytime I'm doing triceps, I like doing some sort of push down. And then you also want to do an exercise where your arm is over your head, as I could barely lift my arms up here. That way you work the triceps, a bunch of different angles. Your long head could really only get a full contraction when it's above your head. I love how I have to lift my arm up to get it over. But you have to get your arm up and then do some sort of extension like that or a skull crusher like that. Obviously you could do this on the cables too or another machine. But skull crushers for me, I would say these have been like a staple for me since I started working out. And I credit these to like at least 60% of my tricep growth. These are definitely one of my favorites. The big issue with these ones is a lot of people's elbows get killed when they do this, and it does put a lot of stress on your elbow. So that's why I don't like starting with this exercise, because even right here, even though I already did that one tricep push down, I can still feel my elbows a little bit. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to do some sort of warm-up set before getting into the working set, which I didn't do here. So for this second set, that pain should go away, but that's just one thing you gotta look out for, because a lot of people do have elbow pain when they do this. So I would just do like a cable, some sort of cable extension if these do bother you. But for me, I love skull crushers. Again, I credit these to like a big portion of my tricep growth. And if you can do them, I feel like they're definitely an S tier exercise. It's just a little unfortunate that a lot of people can't do them because their elbows get killed. Whew. So hammer curls, maybe you could see what I'm trying to get through this arm workout. We're hitting the biceps for the first two, like let's say we're isolating the biceps. Now with hammer curls, forearms, and this little muscle on the outside of your arm here, your brachialis. So that's what we're trying to work. That's gonna build a lot of thickness to your arm. Definitely throw some sort of hammer curl, whether it's with the ropes or dumbbells. I would like 99 of 100 times choose dumbbells over the ropes. And you can go straight in front or you could go across your body. I feel like I feel it more when I go across my body, so that's how I like doing it. But yeah, that's gonna build you some thick ass arms. So get your triceps huge. Obviously hit your biceps because it's not half your arm, but you know, let's say a third of your arm. But then from the front, like this way, if you want thick arms, you got to do some heavy ass hammer curls, 13, 14 reps. So it's not like it was like super heavy, but it's still, even just holding 55 pounds in your arms, you're going to thicken out your arms regardless. Can I do 8 reps with like maybe the 60s or 65? Sure. I like going probably like, yeah, 10 to 12 reps for biceps generally. And for triceps too, I never really go that heavy, just because if you're curling with 8 reps and you're really forcing it, you know, like you're doing 8 reps here. And maybe this isn't the case if you're like curling like 15 pounds. I think you're gonna be okay doing 8 reps. But if you're able to curl like 35, 40, 45, 50, or 55 pounds like a curl, and you're fucking forcing 8 reps, it just scares me. You know, we've seen those videos on the internet, the guy doing the preacher curl and his bicep tendon, his biceps rip off the bone. So that's why I don't like doing super heavy on biceps, and I always stick like 10 plus reps for sure. Whew. Time for this tricep dip machine. Recently incorporated this one in. I guess my only beef with this one is it's not super heavy. So I generally like finishing with it just because then my arms are more tired and it is heavier. And again, the key with, if you are, you know, if you're kind of maxing out a machine, just slow down the reps, like slow down the form, make lightweight harder, just so you're not doing like, just pumping the fuck out of these reps. Make lightweight hard. That's kind of the trick. And I'll kind of show you how I do that. You just slow down the rep and then hold the contraction, really slow negatives, and that's pretty much it. So you could pause when you're totally stretched, push down as hard as you can, nice controlled negative, pause, push down, and just repeat that. So if I didn't do those pauses, I probably could have done like 6 to 10 more reps. So you can see how much harder it is if you take the momentum out, you do the pause, you control the negative a little bit more. I think that was like 12 reps. I know normally if I can, you know, just do my regular rep speed or my tempo, I could get close to 20 reps on this. So make lightweight hard. Once you're getting to certain strengths, like once you're, I don't want to say like super strong, but once you are pretty strong, the more load, the more risk of injury. So you get stronger, your risk of injury just goes up too. So you have to train a lot smarter the stronger you get. That's why we do these extra warm-up sets. That's why if we are maxing out the machine, you know, I'm not throwing a gym pin on, throwing a shitload more weight on there. The more load, the more stress it is on your joints, the harder it is on your ligaments. Your muscle, especially if you're taking PDs, your muscle is going to outgrow the strength of your tendons and ligaments. So just because your muscle can move the weight doesn't necessarily mean your tendons and ligaments can. And they might be able to for now, but all it takes is just one time and boom, something snaps. And now you're injured and you're out of the gym for the next 3 to 6 months, depending on the injury. So that's why the stronger you get, the smarter you have to train. Don't just fucking go full meathead. I'm gonna max out this and just do as many reps and keep going heavier and heavier and heavier. Trust me, bro, you are going to injure yourself real fucking quickly. And it's gonna reset you a lot more than if you just lowered, kept the weight a little bit lighter and made that lightweight harder. Most important thing if you wanna get big, stay injury free. Because if you get injured, you can't train and you're gonna get small. And this is coming from someone, I've never had a serious injury in my life. Knock on wood. I'm going on like year 12 or 13 of training. I've never tore anything. I've had some tweaks, some strains. And if we go through my chest workout, I'll show you the differences I'm gonna make this upcoming week or in a couple weeks, whenever we record that next video. Because I was starting to go a little meathead with my incline pressing and I could just feel like a huge, like something did not feel right in my pec. And I've had issues with my right pec in particular before. Anytime I would start to go a little too heavy, go a little too fucking meathead with it. And then boom, I did that list last week and I'm like, okay, now something feels a little bit off in my pec. I had to pull back. Luckily it feels okay now, but I know if I keep pushing it and I don't think about that and I don't start training a little bit smarter, boom, pec tear, that's gonna fuck me up for the next multiple months. Okay, so now obviously arms are done. Moving on to some delts here. And I love this machine. I know I said I love the standing lateral, but I love that one as well. What I really like about this one, it keeps you locked in. Like you can see I'm not grabbing onto these handles because I want to mimic the same motion as the standing lateral or as a dumbbell lateral. And they're all like this, right? So with this one, I don't want to go like this. I want to keep that same motion. So you can see my arms are out and I'm doing the exact same thing on this machine. But the thing I like about this versus like a dumbbell, especially if you're trying to progressively overload, once you start to progressively overload dumbbells, it's really easy to get like a little bounce and a little momentum out the bottom. So if you're doing that while you're progressively overloading, are you really getting stronger or are you just using more momentum to move the weight? But with this one, it's very stable. And I know as long as I'm keeping my arms straight, same tempo, same everything, and I'm doing more reps, I'm progressively overloading. So that's what I really like about this over the dumbbells or even over the standing lateral, because you can still get a little bounce out the bottom. You have to be very careful. So with this one, super easy to progressively overload, still hits a delt, just as good as any other exercise, including the standing lateral. So if you do want to go heavy, this is the one exercise I'll actually go heavy on, meaning I'll do like 8 to 10 reps with the standing lateral. Normally on the other ones, I'm doing like 10 to 15, but on this one, I will do fewer reps, like I said, 8 to 10, because I know I can do these properly without cheating. And that's the most important thing. When I'm progressively overloading, I want to make sure as I increase weight, my form and tempo is staying the exact same, because then I'm truly progressively overloading and making sure my muscle is getting stronger while I go up in weight. It's not from bouncing out the bottom. It's not from using more momentum or anything like that. It's because my muscle is genuinely getting stronger. I'm still working on the volume because this is about a month post-show now, 4 weeks-ish. So I'm still kind of working on the volume and seeing what I can recover from. Normally I was doing, before like I really started dieting down, I was doing 6 sets of lateral raises on my arm day and 6 sets on my chest day. So 12 sets. I noticed I had to pull back a little bit. So I'll do 3 sets here plus a drop set. And then on my chest workout, I'm also doing 3 sets, maybe 4 sets plus a drop set. Just again, experimenting with what I can recover from. But I'm hoping in probably another 3-4 weeks, I'll be back up to 6 and 6 just to, yeah, just keep increasing volume, because that's how you're gonna grow. Oh. Oh. So I bumped the weight, I don't know, 10 pounds or whatever. I don't know what these little things weigh. Got a few less reps, but that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. And then now for next week, I know I'm doing 125, or let's call that 135 now. I'll be able to just jump to 140 and get more within that 8 to 10 rep range. And again, just start progressively overloading week after week after that to make sure I'm growing. All right, guys, that's a wrap on today's workout. That's pretty much, I don't want to say that's pretty much how I grew my arms, but those same exercises that you saw me do today, I've been doing for years. The machines might be different, but more or less, do some curls, do some extensions for triceps, do some tricep push downs like this. Make sure, again, your arm's overhead and you're extending that way too. If you do all that, you're gonna grow some big ass arms. And like I said, that's what I've been doing for over 10 years. You know, I feel like it's been working out all right for me, so I'm sure it'll work out pretty well for you guys too. Guys, if you like this video, make sure to like the video. If you like this video, make sure to like the video. Subscribe to the channel, comment down below what you want to see me do next. I'm thinking probably some full day of eating or something even outside of the gym, something along those lines. But drop your questions, comments down below. And besides that, the next video, actually, before I let you guys go, the next video is gonna be a banger. So make sure to subscribe because you're not gonna wanna miss that one. I'm not gonna share exactly what it is, but you're gonna get a ton of value from it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.